What's going on, Libra? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic month so far. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Libra. And it, takes my breath away. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Libra, because it is Celestial News Monthly. Literally, I think it's like my favorite time of the month, Libra, and this one in particular, but we'll get why to that in a minute. But when the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Libra. So Libra, I have Zodiac Oracle cards here with where each of the planets are at. I'm going to pull an Oracle card from this deck for each of them, and then we will pull get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down in the description box, I've included some links for some other readers that I like checking out as well, Libra. So definitely give them, show them some love. Very intuitive bunch, so hopefully you'll like them as well. But Libra, it's Cancer season! And let me tell you why I'm so excited. One reason, because, my sun sign's in Cancer. But also, this is, let me get myself together. Because if you thought I was bringing big energy now, Libra, Cancer season, brace yourself. But you got the sun that's entering Cancer, and then you have Mercury that's going to be in Cancer as well. Now, the sun is going to enter on the 21st of June at about 9:58 a.m., and that's going to be Central Time. And then we'll be there through the 22nd of July. And with this energy, Libra, it's bringing in the summer solstice. It's about that time. The sun, well, depending on where you're at, you're getting a whole bunch of sunlight now. It's, I hope you're getting outside, enjoying the weather and things, but also, when you think about that, with when you consider that, how emotional Cancerians can be, this is a great energy for, shining some light on those emotions, really tuning into your feelings, Libra. Because Cancer being ruled by the moon, the moon is the fastest luminary in the solar system, as in our thing, as far as like she's going through different signs and different phases. I mean, she's doing a lot, and Cancers feel a whole lot. And so if there are any energies that you notice throughout the seasons that are maybe particularly rough emotions or more ones that you feel intense than others, it's about getting eyes on those and, and nurturing yourself, showing yourself some compassion, because that's just an area where you want to grow. Maybe we're a type that, we get all consumed by anger, or maybe when we get sad, we really get deep into a depression or something along those lines. And it's not meant to be a judgment, it really isn't meant to just to really nurture yourself and do some healing work there. But also, this is, Cancer being associated with the fourth house, deals with family ties, really close bonds. This is a great energy for focusing on your close relationships. And I feel like with yours being a sign of relationships, this can be great for really either strengthening those existing bonds, forming some new bonds, or if we're noticing some dissonance in some areas and we're it's not feeling harmonious, maybe we're putting up some boundaries with some situations as well. So just something to pay attention to there, Libra. But also, you got Mercury that's going to be entering on the 26th of June and will be there through the 10th of July. And with this is great for strengthening the bonds within ourselves and with others. Again, and then it's like the archetype that it's going to take on is very kind of King of Cups, Queen of Cups energy, where we're taking the mind, Mercury energy being the planet of communication and how we think, and then in the heart, where they're making that relationship a lot stronger. But also, you're going to be able to think about things on a deeper level and have a greater ability to process and express your feelings. So utilize that to your advantage, Libra. And something to pay attention to, considering where, or depending on where your Libra placements are at, these energies are going to be forming squares with your situations. And squares can bring about some tension and some internal conflict, Libra. They're kind of like the example that I've been using is for like a squared situation. It's like you go to take your car in to, forget a tire thing, and it turns out your whole engine's messed up. And so that's like an unexpected kind of surprise there, So it's just like, well, crap, how am I going to get to the store? How am I going to get to work if we've got to commute to work? Do we have public transportation around us? Do we need to get a lift? Do we need to rent a car? Are we carpooling? But squares, where they can bring about challenges, some irritation, a little inharmonious energy, it does, I feel like, reminds us how resourceful we can be when the universe throws curveballs at us. And the nice thing, I feel like, coupling that with Cancer energy, where sometimes it feels like, when these situations are happening, where we may not be able to control like external situations, we can control how we feel about them, and then use that energy as fuel because then it's not to say that, Libra, that you got to be zen all the time. You know what I mean? When stuff pops up, when we get caught off guard, it's just like, allow yourself to feel that. If it pisses you off, absolutely feel that, but then figure out, it's not staying in that, then steeping yourself in that energy. It's trying to figure out how we can turn that into fuel long term. You know what I mean? Now let's see what energy we're working with here. Nice. All right, Libra. So you got the fourth card of Aquarius here, which is the corset card. And with this card, this is a card of held together, boundaries, restriction, prim and proper, following rules, structured, buttoned up, perfect posture, holding it together, support, shapeshift, and people pleaser. And you know what, Libra? The first thing that kind of pops out, first couple things that kind of pop out to me are that the boundaries and the people pleaser. Because I feel like you being a sign of relationships and balance and harmony, I feel like yours is a sign that really likes to keep the peace. We don't want to have to go there, and then like disrupt anything if we don't have to. But I feel like that it may be finding that balance to where I get where we may not want to get into, let's say, like and it could be an argument or maybe even like a discussion or something along those lines, but I do feel like that we don't want to just compromise so much for ourselves. They put ourselves at detriment in order to make life, and I hope this makes sense, but like making life easier for others, you know what I mean? It's one thing to, I feel like the reciprocity is going to be a big name of the game, I feel like, for some of us here, making sure that there's equal give and take here, because maybe this is something where we feel like that we have to act a certain type of way. And it's one thing, I feel like, to adapt to an energy, but if it feels like that there's like all these, like, I'm not sure, it feels like if you have to not, it's like, it's one thing if you're like adjusting to the energies, but it's another thing if you're like not being yourself. You know what I mean? It's just like this energy gives me just like we're putting on like this facade and really just kind of like biting our tongues, or really just kind of, just putting on this, trying to hold it together where we might internally may have some problems or something with this. And I feel like that this energy is saying where to make those feelings known, Libra. I feel like that, and use this to your advantage. I feel like with Mercury being in Cancer, to express these feelings. If there's something that it feels like something that we've been keeping kind of bottled up, or if you find yourself in a situation like that in the future, maybe this could be like a job, for example, where it's just like, it's one thing if we're you know, I get like having the rules and stuff for the workplace, but if it's getting it to a place where it's just like where there's no kind of growth, or that you've kind of plateaued or things along those lines, it's like we're following all these rules, but it's just like there's no, you don't have a say in this type of in how things are maybe structured or things like that, Libra. Very interesting. Let's get some tarot on this and get a little more details here. All right, Libra, let's see what we got here. Interesting. Yeah, so we have a lot of heat here. You got the 10 of Wands, the 7 of Wands in reverse here, and then we have the 9 of Wands upright. And it feels like, this is kind of what I was picking up, Libra, with the 7 of Swords being in reverse. It almost feels like that maybe we've been dealing with an energy, or in like maybe with people that are like overly critical or something along those lines, that are just like, you have to do things like it has to be my way or the highway. You know, you got to do blah, 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 blah. Libra, you're not doing this right. Libra, blah, 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 this, Libra, how come? You know what I mean? And it feels like that if this is something where it's just been kind of like building up for a while, and you're just getting to this place of just like, I feel like we want to be careful now that I'm thinking about that, because it's just as the heat's building up, I'm just like, hold on, because you got a couple Sagittarius cards here, and even with this Leo energy, if we get into a place where we keep this stuff bottled up, eventually we may lose it, Libra. You know, like if you like that stuff tends to fester. And I feel like that, you know, with your opposite sign on the zodiac wheel being Aries, I feel like this is one where we might want to take a note from Aries' book, where as far as like, I don't feel like this is where there necessarily needs to be a fight, but it's more so just like along the lines of just like, hey, I've been following, you know, I'm all for structure and things, but this is becoming ridiculous, you know, where it's just like there needs to be some kind of reciprocity here, you know, there needs to be like a balance or something along those lines. Can we talk about how things are going down? And if this is like, for example, this is a job, Libra, I would never tell you to quit your job, but if this is something where if we have this discussion, you know, we're civil, we're calm, we've stressed our needs, and it's still not being met properly, then we may want to take our energy elsewhere. Maybe we're putting out resumes, however that might be looking. Or this, you know what? Or if this is a relationship, you know, whether it be with a partner, with a friend, with a family member, and there again, like if it feels like that, you have to behave a certain type of way, or just like, well, Libra, you know, like, you know how you can be, Libra. We don't want to upset them or something along those lines. It's just like, it gives me very kind of weird, like, well, who are they? You know, like that type of energy. And that's very interesting, Libra. So. And this is, to be fair, Libra, just on the flip side, if we've been maybe setting up some type of, I don't know what this is. It's just like if we got like certain like, you know, let's say maybe we've been like hurt in the past with like relationships. And then, you know, when we have someone new, we expect them to jump through all these hoops and stuff before we even give them the time of day. You want to be kind of careful with that, Libra. Again, I wouldn't tell you what to do, and this is a judgment-free zone, but I feel that where, yes, we let past situations and take, maybe we've learned discernment, you know, maybe look out for the red flags, but we don't want to just anticipate or expect that they're going to just screw up, or waiting on them to screw up or something along those lines, because we're not perfect, Libra, you know. And I feel like that it's a lot to ask someone else to be that way as well, you know, and again, I'm not saying this is the case, but it's just something to think about, because sometimes we can, especially if it's like a relationship type of deal, you know, we can let those things where we are healing from them, but it's like, there's still that part of you that, I hope that that's making sense. More. All right, Libra, I think I'm gonna leave that there, but yeah, just something to get eyes on there, you know. And this is actually very appropriate. I feel like this energy popping up here, because let's talk about Leo energy. because you have your ruler, Venus, is going to be in Leo for a little while here. And then you got Mercury that's going to be entering Leo a little bit later. Mercury's going to be busy this season. But let's talk about your ruler. Because Venus entered Leo on the 5th of June and will be there through the 8th of October. She's going to be going retrograde in Leo season. But this energy, you might be feeling a little more extroverted, Libra. Might be feeling a little more extroverted, Libra, in the sense of just like, you know, Leo energy being ruled by the sun. They like to shine and just like, hey, Leo's here, check me out. And you might be feeling that way too. You know, the Empress is feeling fancy. She's feeling good, feeling confident, feeling bold. And this is great energy too for focusing on your self-confidence and, you know, implying some self-love. Especially if this is something where you've been feeling kind of restricted or something along those lines. Definitely do some, because the Nine of Wands can also be my card of healing, you know, but I do feel, or also with this energy that this is something to pay attention to, you know, because Leo energy can be a little over the top. This can be lead to some possible drama. And that's what I was kind of thinking, like with this prim and proper, if we've been kind of keeping things bottled up, we want to be mindful of that. Because Leo energy, when it does blow up, it may not last that long, but it can be very intense in that moment. It's very interesting. I got a lot of Leo in my chart, and let me tell you, it's something else. But yeah, just something to think about there with Venus being in Leo for a while. But yeah, definitely a great time for folks on that self-confidence and, you know, maybe having these discussions as well. And again, yeah, focus on some self-love. But then you got Mercury that's going to be entering Leo on the 11th of July and will be there through the 28th of July. And this makes communications becomes a little more straightforward. And so, again, yeah, Libra, just how you started out here. If any of that resonated with you, you know, watch that heat. But this is a great energy for, on the flip side, you know, for you to have some fun, you know, because Leo is very fun energy, you know, very joyful. And this could be a great time to, you know, fill your space with, like, you know, love and laughter. You know, maybe allow yourself to be around some people that you don't need to feel like you're, you know, got to be on all the time, that you can relax and, you know, just be yourself. But this is a great energy for you as well, for, you know, just putting yourself out there, whether that be, you know, maybe if you've been thinking about doing some kind of public speaking, or maybe we're doing something on like some social media, or maybe we're writing a book, putting some art, whatever that's looking like, Libra, because Leo is very creative energy. So utilize this work this to your advantage. And this is a nice thing too, especially if you are thinking along, you know, putting yourself out there or things along those lines, because depending on where your Libra placements are at, this is going to be forming a sextile with your signs. And sextiles are, after trines, they're very fortunate energy, but, you know, very easy flowing, you know, collaborative energy, but it's passive, you know, it's not very dynamic. And so it's got to be something where we have to do something with this energy, you know, got to take charge here, because it's kind of like, sextiles are just potential. You know, if we don't do anything with the seeds, then they're just going to sit there. But if we decide to jump on this stuff, put our energy towards those things, absolutely. This could be something that can flourish. You know, who knows what kind of opportunities can come up. For example, I had a Virgo present me an opportunity a little while back, and at first I just kind of dismissed it. I was in the middle of a sextile transit right there, and that's what actually had sparked my That's what actually happened. Was just like, oh, wait a minute. This situation not only would help me with this, but it helps me with this, and that. And I was like, wait, Virgo. And that's pretty much what sextile's about. It's just like you can either take it or leave it. And I feel like, you know, whatever you decide to do, don't feel like that you missed out on an opportunity or anything, because the opportunity, when one door closes, another thing opens, Libra. But let's get an oracle on this. All right, Libra, let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. I wasn't kidding. I guess if we weren't kidding about that, learn from Aries here, because you got the 7th card of Aries here, which is the kerosene card. And with this card, this is a card of aggressive, accelerate, ignite, determined, fuel, encourage, sustain, powerful, stimulate, volatile situation, provoke, watch out, unpredictable, combustible, propel, and hot. And this is what I was talking about, Libra. I feel like for some of you, if you've been keeping this, if you keep anything, you know, these situations, if something has been upsetting you, or if you feel like a situation hasn't been fair, because I mean, you're a sign of justice, you know, a sign of balance. And if something hasn't been feeling like it's been, it's not been working, or, you know, that you have some thoughts or some feelings about this stuff, try to get ahead of this thing, you know, express this stuff. I feel like we can express these things in a calm manner, you know, however that may be looking. But I do feel like that we do, and I feel like this watch out is not that to say, you know, anything crazy is going to happen, but you never, like, Leo energy is very unpredictable sometimes, so how that stuff can kind of pop up, you know, because I had a situation not too long ago, you know, we had Mars in Leo, and my Mars is in Leo, and I was going through a Pluto transit, and the emotions got a little hot, and I kind of came in real hot, and things kind of blew up a little bit, but it's something that I feel like that this is like getting ahead of this thing so that you can still, yeah, just so that you can have just like some kind of, so that it doesn't become like a reactive and that things get out of control here. But let me get a little bit more, on this energy, Libra. All right, let's see what we got here. Interesting. Okay, so you have the High Priestess and the Ten of Cups in reverse here, and then we have the King of Wands upright. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, shifting a little away from that for a second, because I feel like for some of you, if we've been, oh, interesting. Okay, so I feel like for some of you, if we feel like what we've maybe been doing up until now, maybe this with this corset card, this could be something where maybe we've been following the rules that have been set out for us. Like, for example, maybe we've been told that, you know, like you have to become like a doctor, that you have to become like a lawyer or something along those lines. Or, you know, maybe people have been like criticizing our choices here, and we've been ignoring our intuition, saying like, it almost feels like you're not even ignoring our intuition. It's like a combination, because when you think the High Priestess is the moon, and the moon deals with our emotions and our subconscious. And I feel like that if there's something here that maybe we've been ignoring that, you know, because we want to maybe keep a certain image, you know, maybe it's just like, you know, people don't really, maybe we've wanted to make outfits, for example, but we're just like, well, others are just like, well, how's that going to pay the bills, Libra? You know, you know, there are thousands of other people, you know, because Seven of Wands can be a card of criticisms. And yeah, if we've been maybe kind of suppressing this feelings here, I feel like Libra, with the King of Wands, if this is a passion of yours, I feel like forget what other people think about your dreams, because you'll figure out how to make this thing work. But if we continue to keep this stuff maybe bottled up or things, keep those feelings repressed and not working towards Ten of Cups, because it feels like that this energy is just like, where I'm not saying that we're ignoring the structure, you know, focusing on like money or anything along those lines, but I feel like it's a balance. If you've been wanting to make outfits and things, maybe this is something you can do part-time, you know what I mean? Do it in like your downtime, and maybe even start like a side hustle, you know, until maybe if you want to make it your full-time thing, then absolutely. We're definitely in an age where, especially where the sign or the air, excuse me, the energies, we really are getting ready to be in a time of the air signs, you know, with Pluto getting ready to move into Aquarius officially next year. So this is not something where you want to keep these dreams bottled up or anything. If you got the energy for that, King of Wands, when it comes to his passions, bet he's going to go out and get it. He's going to go, because it's going to lead to his growth and it's going to fulfill him in the long run. I feel like this structured and rule stuff that might have been set upon you, let's say if this was like a family thing, for example, they don't have to they don't get to live your life or tell you what to do. They can provide like what they think you may be good at, like, oh, Libra, you're a natural at this, you're a natural at that. That's one thing, providing like constructive like criticism and things. But I feel like that no one can tell you how to channel your energy than you, Libra. And this is something that not society, not anyone, it's only you have that kind of control. And if things have been a burden up until now, let's switch it up. And here's to say, here's something too, though. When we're focusing, when we do, if this is something that's resonating with you, and we do decide to more kind of fill up our cups, know that there are going to be challenges, but at least it's going to be something where it won't be nearly as harsh, because I feel like it's going to be something it's your dreams. You know what I mean? It's going to be something that it brings you joy, and that even in times of adversity, you can take that to your advantage, use that as fuel to keep going. But it's something where we're going to need to stick to our truth. And I feel like that this structure here with this corset thing is just like, it's how can we change that up and reclaim our power back here, Libra. Mark? So yeah, just something to think about there. And I don't feel like that has to be anything. If this is like something that someone has told you, it doesn't have to be a big old fight. It's just like, well, hey, this is what I'm gonna be doing. How you feel about that? Take it or leave it. And if they don't like that, well, boundaries. I mean, and it's just plain and simple. And it's just, yeah, just something to think about there, Libra. But now let's talk about Virgo energy, because Mars is going to be entering Virgo on the 10th of July and will be there through the 27th of August. And this is, I feel like, a very dope placement for Mars, because, Mars is the planet of action, drive, passion. And when you couple that with Virgo energy, Virgos are very, very detail-oriented, organized, analytical, very smart, Mercury ruled. And I feel like if we combine this energy, it makes us very efficient at this time. We can really get some good work done. And so there's something to, if you have maybe any passions or things along those lines, this is great for getting those game plans, because the King of Wands, he's also my card of, coming up with the game plan. And this is great energy for working on this stuff, figuring out, getting the details figured out of how we're going to get to that bigger picture there. But also, Virgo being associated with the 6th house, that can deal with our health. And this isn't medical advice or anything, but this is a great energy for focusing on your health, whether that be physical, mental, spiritual, whatever that's looking like. But also, considering, especially since you got the 7 of Wands here, we do want to be mindful of being overly critical, Libra, with ourselves and with others. Because this could be something too where, well, no, I'm not quite feeling that. But yeah, we just want to be mindful of just being overly critical with ourselves, and and just being too harsh. But let's get an oracle on this. Thank you. Let's see what we got here, Libra. Ooh, all right, Libra, we just keep heating up here. You got the 5th card of Leo's here, which is the Dynamite card. And I like this, because this is a card of excitement, passion, action, suspense, destroy, powder keg, fantastic, energetic, breakup, catalyst for change, explosive, short fuse, firecracker, blast, sudden, unexpected, and fast. And let's talk about your passions first, because I feel that this can be, and especially if we've been, because Libra, you are a very artistic sign. You know what I mean? You're ruled by Venus, and you're a sign of beauty, aesthetics. You're bringing harmony into the world, and that can be a number of ways, whether that be through your art that you're making. Maybe it's through your words. Maybe we're inspiring others. I don't know what you're doing, Libra, but it can be something where it can be something fantastic, but I just feel like that we gotta follow that dream here. If there's been that that fire, because you got so much heat. And I feel like that if there's been a fire here that has been wanting to, like a passion that you want to pursue, I feel like see where that goes, Libra, because I think that that could take you, things could maybe take off for you in a way that you won't believe. That sextile energy that I was talking about, great for that. Who knows what way, where that may lead. So definitely pay attention during these next few months. Venus is about to, I feel like, about to really kind of hook you up, Libra. So be ready, be a catalyst, because you can be, I feel like focusing on your passion is going to be the catalyst for your change, which in turn, depending on the degree that whatever you do takes off, this can be a catalyst for change for others. And it doesn't matter how big or how small, Libra. I was just telling, I think I was telling Taurus this, where if you, let's say we're pursuing this, we're making outfits, for example. You getting into this thing, and maybe you make something for your friends or for your family or something along those lines, or maybe even for yourself. You may happen to be walking down the street, feeling in your Empress energy. Venus is in Leo, check me out. And someone's just like, oh, Libra, who are you wearing? And you're like, Libra. And then they're like, can I get one of these things? And look at that. Business. Who know? In Libra, I know that may seem a little fantastic, but little fanciful, but I mean, why not? You never know who you're talking with, and especially you being a sign of relationships, and in Cancer energy. Cancer energy is very creative. To be able to feel to the degree that we do, and to be able to express that, Libra, and to express that effortlessly. Please, Libra, make some beauty here. I'm with it. But also, Libra, let's get down to this. Let's get back to this heat a little bit, because I really feel like just being careful about keeping these. If you got any kind of like stuff that you've been keeping bottled up, maybe there's a conversation that you've been wanting to have. Maybe we're in a relationship, and maybe they've been restricting you possibly. Maybe you've been trying to cater yourself to this person or whatever, but it's starting to get to your detriment. Maybe it's starting to become too much of a burden for you. And maybe the conversations aren't you've been expressing these feelings. I feel like then maybe and again, wouldn't tell you what to do, but maybe this is something where we may need to have a difficult conversation, because I feel like if we keep this stuff suppressed, Libra, it's gonna come out. Promise. If you don't deal with these things, and that's not to get you scared, that's to get you to just shine some awareness on this thing, because when we say things in the heat of the moment, we may not have meant it like how it came out there, but once the things have been said, it's already out there. So, and it's just like however that's looking, we gotta face the consequences with that. So let's get some tarot on this. All right, Libra, let's see what we got here. Okay, so you have the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Swords in reverse, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles upright. And I really feel like, Libra, with the Eight of Pentacles, if someone has told you, or if you felt like in the past that because this Ace of Swords is almost like there was this seed planted, or this like idea in your head that you can't do whatever this is that you want to do. Just for some of you who've been, maybe there's been like a passion that we've been wanting to pursue, or maybe there's something that excites us, but we've been told that we can't do this thing for whatever reason. I feel like the Seven of Swords popping up here is saying that is an absolute lie. You can do whatever you want, Libra. You can manifest your dreams, and however that looks like, it's just putting that stuff to work and learning from these situations here. Because the Eight of Pentacles can be like a card of prudence, wisdom. And I feel like this is something that we can work on now. We're making your passions and bringing more excitement in your life. I feel like we can start making that a trend now, because that's funny that this is coming up during Virgo energy, because the Eight of Pentacles, this is the Sun in Virgo. And Virgo, one of the things they too, one things I love about them is that they're a sign of the routines and things. And I feel like making this passion your routine. But that's for that side of it. But I do feel like for some others, again, like there's something here about maybe a certain mindset has become ingrained in us or something along those lines. And I feel like that it's breaking out of that cycle. You know, I like how there's got like this lunar cycles here. I feel like that this can be a great energy for you to really come back into your power with Venus being in Leo and listen, once Venus is out of Leo, that doesn't mean that this energy just stops. But it's just like while the energy is really ripe, use this as, you can even look at that, Libra, you're creating an opportunity. You're allowing yourself to become a catalyst for change right here. It's realizing that, you know, like that others can't restrict you, and that they can people only have as much power over us as we give them. You know what I mean, Libra? You are always in control of you. And so I feel that this is something that just before this thing potentially gets out of hand, before it's like becomes like a tower moment, because it'll be like the littlest Libra or Leo energy doesn't care how big or how small the situation is. They can make it the most dramatic. So it's okay. So for example, I have a lot of Leo in my chart. And I got in a situation not too long ago where it was like over the littlest thing. It's really stupid when I think about it. But someone had came to me with some silliness. And at first it was just sort of it was weird. But after a while, I lost it. And like I really blew up. It was like at first it started off like kind of calm, and then it was just like things, repressed stuff were starting to come up for the mix too, and it literally exploded. And that's where you got to be careful with that, Libra, because it can be, all it takes is, it'll be something as simple as you'll be washing the dishes, and they will maybe a person will say something like, Libra, you know you're supposed to wipe the plates clockwise, not counterclockwise, and then we done broke a plate. Because you know what I mean, Libra? So just something to think about there. Thanks, higher self. More? Okay. Just a little insider there, Libra. All right. Let's talk about Taurus energy. Because you got Jupiter in Taurus, and then you have Uranus in Taurus. And Jupiter's going to be in Taurus until the end of, about the 25th of May, 2024. And with Jupiter being in Taurus, this is asking us if there are any areas of our lives that we're not feeling secure in, or that we want to grow in. Maybe we get a little more knowledge on, whether this be, you know, with all this financial stuff going down with the banks, maybe we want to learn about investments and maybe stocks and things along those lines. Or if we're thinking about maybe our diet, or even with where this, like, because I was just having a discussion with someone about about food and things, because, you know, that's Taurus being a sign of the senses, you know, that's one of the aspects that they can cover. And we were talking about, as far as just like, you know, maybe investing in more kind of bulk products, you know, it's like rice and beans and other like things with like longer shelf life and stuff, you know, because considering that, you know, grocery prices going up and stuff, you know, a lot of changes are happening. And so it's like, how can we build this long-term security? And it's about doing that research and finding the ways that we can grow and feel kind of settled in this. And when we can get those energies working for us, get that stuff in a routine there, man, Jupiter's like, come on, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune all day. And then that's going to be great energy to work with, because Uranus has been wreaking havoc in Taurus since about 2018, because Uranus is and will be in Taurus until like right before my birthday, the 7th of July, 2025. So we still got a couple more years of that, Libra. But with Uranus being in Taurus, Uranus brings about, he's the planet of revolutions, of change, of the future. And I mean, we've been changing up from how we've been working from, like, you know, more remote jobs to where all this bank stuff, and then, you know, getting like talk about with this food thing. And, you know, there's still so much that's changing because Uranus is setting up this. When Uranus is going to work, it's setting up the stage for for the next era that we're getting into. Because again, we're getting into the age of Aquarius right now. This is going to be a sign of special. This is going to be especially interesting for people with like Aquarius and Aquarius placements, but also, this is going to be a time for you as well, Libra. You and Gemini, are going to be, and this is going to form some opportunities for you, some trines, well, and Pluto trines are weird because that's where I just went through one, or I'm still kind of going through. A lot of the people in my circle are going through some heavy Pluto transits right now. But it's thinking about that change, and adapting to the times, and how does that look like? Get you thinking about this stuff here, Libra. And yeah, just getting a game plan, embracing ourselves for this really wonderful future that's going to be coming here. Because this is, again, a time for us to really start focusing on things that fill our cups, that bring excitement. Because yes, there are changes and things along those lines, but that doesn't mean that it's just all just going to be just hustle and grind. We can still have some fun and excitement and things, in between. That's what Saturn in Pisces wants for us to make our own. We're going to definitely talk about that next. But let's get an oracle on this. Interesting. Yeah. Nice. All right, Libra, more heat. And Aries, you got the 6th card of Aries here, which is the flag card. And with this card, this is a card of achievement, recognition, overthrow, success, victory. Ooh, look at you, winner, conquest, mastery, bragging rights, carry the day, plans are coming to fruition, and king of the mountain. Look at you, King of Wands. And that's what happens when we follow our passions, Libra, because then once we start getting into this place of setting ourselves up for success, really kind of finding that balance of just like, yeah, just something of like really following our dreams. And I almost feel like with this energy, Libra, this is really about just like really letting you shine, being the king of your mountain and not letting anyone else really dictate what you want to accomplish in life. Success and achievement looks differently for everyone. Back in the day, what the dream was, or the goal was to have 2.5 kids, white picket fence, dog, 2-car garage, whatever the hell that's looking like. But we're in a different era, success, and that's it. Where life is not a one glove fits all situation. Success could just be maybe making your own clothes for yourself. It might not even be making them for anybody, Libra. Maybe we're making it for close friends or something along those lines. But it could be just anything that brings you joy and brings you fulfillment. When you're able to look at yourself every day and just like, yeah, I'm happy because I'm sticking to I'm trusting my gut. I'm following my dreams. I'm feeling my passions. And yeah, I really feel like if you were to channel your energy there, Libra, take all this heat that you have. I'm surprised the Ace of Wands hasn't popped up here. But I feel like that if we focus on those things, this is going to get you in a state of confidence and of feeling really good. And that's what Venus in Leo is about, really getting into this place of, Cancer season could be a really great time for you, Libra. I know we were talking about this square situations with this internal conflict, but pay attention to your intuition and your feelings, because I feel like they're trying to guide you to get you to where you're feeling on top of your game here. But let's get some tarot on this. Libra, let's see what we got here. Interesting. You got the 6 of Wands in reverse here, and then we got the Page of Pentacles upright. And that's what I'm talking about, Libra. Page of Pentacles. I feel like there's something here really about just like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like maybe we're even like restricting what we think that we can accomplish here, you know? And I don't feel like this is something, again, that you don't have to be working towards like fame and fortune and things along those lines. But I feel like it's just working at this place where you're feeling your most confident, you know? This could be, if this is like a clothes thing, you know, maybe we're just making, maybe it's like we're making outfits for like a dance group or something, or maybe we're making music, or I mean, Libra, maybe you want to be like the next best, I don't know, doctor or lawyer. It's like, it doesn't have to be anything particularly creative, and there's art in that. You can get creative be creative with your words as a lawyer. Maybe you're just something along those lines. But I just feel like that there's something here that maybe with the Six of Wands, we're worried about. I feel like it's almost like the pressure of what society might expect success, or like maybe what others expect success to be. I feel like that it doesn't have to line up like that. Let me get a little bit more on the Six of Wands. Because the Six of Wands, that's Jupiter in Leo, in Leo, and I feel that when we're focusing on things that make us feel confident in us, and when we focus on things that make us feel confident and that we want to pour our energies into, and that where we want to grow in, Jupiter can reward you in really fantastic ways here, Libra. But hold on, let's get I'm with it. So you got, speaking of Jupiter, because you got the Temperance card here, which is Sagittarius energy. You got the Temperance, you have the Three of Wands in reverse here, and then you have the Ace of Pentacles upright. And I feel like, Libra, because when I was talking about these aces, they're seeds. You know, this is your potential here. And I feel that if you're not pouring things that are leading you to your expansion, that bring balance in your life, then let's work on that stuff. And keep in mind, Libra, that even when we're working towards these goals, this is not going to be an easy path here. This girl here, she's on stage now. You know, she's victorious. She's celebrating all this stuff. But beforehand, she may have to perform at some bars at first. You know, had to do her local dive, had to get famous within 5 miles, and then 10 miles, and then 50 miles. You know what I mean? It is a process when we're working on and nurturing these seeds here. But I feel like that when we're working towards those goals and really staying true to ourselves here, and not worrying about what others may be thinking about this, or even being mindful of any kind of self-criticisms as well. When we trust our intuition and trust that the universe is guiding you, that higher self is guiding you to your state of balance here, you know, to your expansion, then it's just abundance. You know what I mean? Because that's what Jupiter in Taurus is all about. It's going to be, we're in kind of like a slow burn right now. It's not to say there's going to be, not going to notice immediate success, but we are in a time of, we're playing the long game right now. But man, it's going to be worth it in the long run. You know what I mean? It's going to get you to this state of feeling good, feeling accomplished, and feeling at your best. King of the mountain, king of the world. Why not, Libra? All right. I love it. And this is perfect, because now because especially if we've been thinking about this dream stuff here, Saturn and Pisces, oh boy. Because Saturn ain't playing around. And this is a fun placement for Saturn when you really think about it, because you got Saturn that's retrograde in Pisces right now and will be in Pisces until 2025. And then you got Neptune that's getting ready to join him. She heard he was doing his retrograde dance and she got jealous, so now she's kicking it. But Saturn is going to be retrograde in Pisces until the 4th of November. And with Saturn being retrograde in Pisces, this is like a cosmic interrogation. Libra, what you been doing with this energy here? I've been hearing all these dreams and stuff, because when you think about Pisces, they're very dreamy energy. You know, they're have a amazing, about on par with Leo, as far as like a great imagination and and being ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, I mean, it's insane. But Saturn is asking us, these dreams that we might be happening, in these areas that we might be restricting ourselves, how can we remove those restrictions, and get to where you're feeling like king of the mountain, get you feeling your most abundant, and making those dreams come true. And this is also great energy. So isn't that fantastic? Normally Saturn's a bit of a hard ass, but in this water energy in Pisces is just like, hey, he just wants you to put in that work so that we can bring more beauty into this world, so that we can have 10 of Cups just all around here, Libra. But also with Pisces energy, they're very spiritual, very psychic energy. And even with the Temperance, he's got a lot of Sagittarius cards here too. They're very spiritual, being ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter rules both Saturn and Pisces. And I feel that this is a great time to really get in touch with your spiritual side, really tap into that subconscious, get to know yourself on an intuitive level, and tap into those, those inner depths here. And that's going to be wonderful energy when you couple that with Neptune going retrograde. She's going to go retrograde on the 30th of June and will be there and be retrograde to the 6th of December. And this is a powerful time, Libra, for introspection and self-discovery, and really connect with your inner self and develop that inner wisdom, High Priestess all day. Really learn yourself, Libra, because it's like when you think about the retrogrades, Neptune normally is a planet of, the hidden things, like the dream realm, illusions, things along those lines. But now that she's retrograde, it's like the veil is being lifted, and now we can really start investing in ourselves, really thinking about what ideas that we want to get started and get planting, and really start nurturing those energies and seeing where the stuff takes you, getting towards whatever Six of Wands victory looks like for you. But it's something where we got to put in that shadow work and then put in that time. But man, when you do, the growth is going to be insane. Let's get an oracle on this. Yeah. Nice. All right, so yeah, cool. So we got the second card, thank you. Got the second card of Cancers here, which is the telephone card. Who you gonna call, Libra? Because this is a card of connection. I'll tell you who, higher self. That's who we need to call. This is a card of connection, communication, conversation, getting through, two-way street, message, vocal, loud and clear, reaching out, notification, throat chakra, inner voice, and rings a bell. You know what, Libra? I just feel like with how we've been kind of talking about this achievement and stuff along those lines, I feel like that there is something where it is letting that inner voice shine, not keeping yourself restricted. Just thinking with this throat chakra, maybe we've been kind of, again, like suppressing these dreams, or maybe we've been telling ourselves that we can't communicate or can't achieve this stuff, or maybe it seems, again, too fanciful, or maybe it doesn't seem practical, or whatever this means. And you know what? The thing is, we got to be careful, again, with you being an air sign, the things that we're telling ourselves. But you know what? If these dreams aren't feeling very practical right now, luckily Mars is in Virgo. So now now the energy is practical. So now there's no excuses, Libra. Let's do it. And I'm not coming at you, Libra, but you're bringing all this heat. And listen, we all want to see what you're going to be bringing here, Libra. And again, it doesn't matter how big or how small this dream is, just as long as it's filling up your cups at the end of the day. Because I feel that even if it's something small, let's say you're doing this, like, okay, let's go back to that clothes thing. Let's say, because you got great fashion sense, Libra. If this is something that, let's say you've been working on this thing, and someone happens to ask you, like, oh, who did this? It's just like, oh, well, I made it. It's just like, really? Wow. And there's just like, well, if they're doing their dream, it's just like, maybe I can do mine too. And look at that. You just inspired someone, you didn't even know it yet. And then they may go inspire someone else because they're communicating now. And look at that. You've had indirect influence like that. And you've helped so many people. You know what I mean, Libra? And that's beautiful. When you really think about that, oh, I just got chills just even thinking about it. Yeah, Libra, there's something here. Really connect with that, with your, when you have some moments, ask yourself, is this where we want it to be in life? Are we really, and it's not to say that what you're doing is not, you're not happy with what you're doing, but it's just like, is there something else that you want to be doing on the side? You know what I mean? Even if this is not something where you're doing like making any charging anything per se, just as something to just bring a little more excitement in your life, so that you have some passion. Because you know what, when you're tapping into that creative side of you, that and really, because when you start getting into that creative space, and again, whatever creativity looks like for you, it doesn't just have to be like your typical kind of arts thing. We would talk about that. You could be a sophisticated speech with your lawyer, communication. You could be, maybe you're doing a podcast. Maybe we're creating apps for, maybe you're creating new ways to communicate, Libra. And I mean, that'd actually be very appropriate with, because Uranus is going to be moving into Gemini in a couple years, so you might be an idea, Libra. And that's another thing too, Libra. If you have any ideas and if they do seem ridiculous, I would scratch that thought right there, because the only crazy idea is the one that's not being implemented right now. Just see where it goes. Maybe have a conversation. Again, you may be, write down your ideas and just hold on to them. If you're not sure how to take them off right now, because who knows, maybe you're outside talking with someone, or maybe walking, I was gonna say walking in the desert. Maybe Libra, you're walking in the desert, happen to be walking, I don't know who you're walking with, King of Wands, and you just happen to be talking about, what am I gonna do, whatever your idea is, and then that inspired, because I'll tell you what, Sagittarius, I've been talking with the Sagittarius actually, and I'll tell you what, they got ideas, just a plenty, just gold all over the place. But, communicate this stuff, because who knows, maybe someone gets inspired by your idea. Maybe they want to collaborate. Sextile energy, hard at work. But one more thing, Libra, just how we were talking earlier. If you've been feeling restricted and you've been keeping things bottled up and it's getting out of hand, you really feel like you're at your wit's end, I feel like let's get this stuff out. Let's have these conversations, because because if we don't, what's going to happen is it's just going to be, what'll happen is it'll blow up. And then something that really pisses me off, when you do have this stuff here, when people have maybe been restricting you, and then you do finally blow up, then they want to look at you like you're emotional and wonder what the hell happened. And it's just like, but at the same time, can you be mad at them because we weren't communicating this thing? You know what I mean? It gets in a weird kind of place. So just something to think about there, Libra. Well, let's get some tarot on this. I tell you, Libra, you brought the most heat here. I don't know what that's about, but I'm part way with it. So I'm just like, well, I'm getting kind of heated too. All right, Libra. Let's see what we got. Oh, Libra, come on now. We got the Emperor here in upright, and then we got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. There's something here, Libra, about you taking charge. I don't know what this is, whether this be in a restricted situation or taking charge of your dreams, but there's something about taking action with Aries popping up here now. Because you got two things, well, now three things. Hold on, you got any Aries cards here? Four things of Aries going down here. And so there's something, Libra, about maybe being more assertive in whether this is in like pursuing our passions, or having this maybe a difficult discussion or something along those lines. But I feel like that maybe for some of you, we've been putting ourselves on the back burner for too long, or putting our dreams on just like you've been taking just like side seat for whatever this reason is. But the Nine of Pentacles, this is Venus in Virgo, and that's working towards your Empress energy, which, Libra, you don't have to work that hard. You are an Empress. So it's getting into, and you know what? Maybe this is something where, because it's not like, how do I want to put this? I feel like that sometimes, you know what? Okay, there it is. Because I feel like that sometimes that maybe when people, I feel like when we think about the Empress energy, you know, it's like they get this like this energy is that she's so soft, and you know that she's doing all this, she's just sitting pretty, you know, she's just naturally abundant. It just comes to her. No, the Empress is one. Venus rules 2 houses. The Emperor is just Aries, and not that there's anything wrong with just being Aries, but she's a whole planet, and she's ruling two. She rules the sign of security and the sign of relationships, beauty, justice. So there's something here, I feel like that maybe there's this misconception of how we're supposed to be acting or something along those lines. It's like maybe we feel like that if we behave a certain way or if we just follow these rules or whatever this is, it's just like that everything is going to work out just fine. And it's not to say that it's not, but it's just like if this is at your detriment or if you're not feeling fulfilled or, because it almost gives me like, almost like we're almost like it's like housewife vibes or something along those lines. And there's nothing wrong with that because like I feel it's a weird conception because even when you think about just working in the home, that's a lot of work. Maintaining the home space, taking care of the kids, you got to take action. There's something. Let me get more on this 9 of Pentacles, Libra. This is fascinating. This, I feel like for you, Libra, is going to be an energy of really getting your self-confidence up. And not that I feel like that it's low, but I feel like it could I feel like maybe for some of us, it could be higher. You know, I feel like that I feel like maybe we've been selling ourselves short as far as like what we can accomplish or maybe something that, yeah. Okay. Something along those lines. Let me get a little bit more on this. Oh, come on, Libra. Libra, you got all 3 of the fire signs here now. You got the Strength card, and like I was talking about, a time of confidence. Sorry, Libra, now I am coming at you. You got the Strength card, the 6 of Swords, and the 10 of Pentacles. So 1, let's bring it down. Something here, Libra, about really being in your confidence. Like there's something like working on, because now we got 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles here. I feel like we're getting ready to move on to a new something, Libra, a new chapter here for some of you. And I feel like when you get a chance, really take some time and think about, is this the foundation that you pictured yourself being in? Is this all you wanted in life? You know, is this where you saw the dream going? And if not, how can we get that too? How can we channel this energy, all this heat? Because now we got way too much heat to ignore now, Libra. It's all here. So there's something about moving on to like a new horizon here. I'm not sure what this is, but there's just like, there's a time for, it's a time for a change. More? Very fascinating, Libra. You know, I feel like that this, you know what, and I feel like let's talk about Pluto. Because Pluto is going to be retrograde in Capricorn until the 10th of October and will be in Capricorn until pretty much Aquarius season. And with Pluto being in Capricorn, this is asking you, especially for those of you, if I feel like if this is like a dream or something along those lines, if we have not been feeling that we've been, because Capricorn, they deal with the 10th house, that can get with our career, can deal with our ambitions, because they're the achievers of the Zodiac. And you know, this deals with our structure. And if we haven't been feeling that we've been, if this is not what we pictured, how can we change this narrative? You know, how can we get to this state of feeling accomplished and feeling that we're on the right track and feeling that we're not just like, that life is just like, we're not just like dealing with like burdens or something like that, or not just like, Because to me, Libra, and not to say that this has happened, like it's interesting because it's just like I feel that if we keep this stuff suppressed, it's not to say that we can't accomplish this stuff later in life, because whenever you are meant to, every opportunity that I feel like is meant for you will definitely be for you. But I feel like that this is something where, do we want to look back and think, man, I wish I would have started this sooner? You know what I mean? I don't want to get to this place of where we're in like regrets. And even if we do start it later, I feel like we don't need to regret anywhere, because now you were ready to start this thing. But I feel like the energy is ripe, Libra, for you to take charge of your life and whatever that looks like for you. Let's get an oracle on this. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and also, Libra, depending on your Libra placements, Pluto's going to be retrograding and this is going to be a little more, you may need your date of birth, place of birth, and time of birth for this to find out the exact degree that your Libra placements are at. But again, just like with Cancer, Capricorn is going to be, if you're on the later degrees of Libra, this is going to be forming a square with your sign. And you're probably going to really be feeling that. You know, this is going to bring change. And especially in a squared situation, Libra, and again, this is not me trying to scare you or anything, but this is, Pluto energy does not play around, even in an easier transit. So in a squared situation, that's going to be tough, but it's going to be something, you got the energy for it all day. But it's got to be something that we got to take that initiative. You know what I mean? All right. What's a little more heat for the win? Libra, do you see how these energies are lining up here? Because you got the 9th card of Sagittarius here, which is the ballet shoes card. Aries, Leo, Sag. Where are you at? Aries, Leo, Sag. With these ballet shoes, this is absolutely, this is a card of stamina, endurance, talent, repetition, effort required, on your toes, honing a skill, laser focus, poise and grace, tread softly, balancing act, pursuit of arts, and expertise. Libra, this is everything we've been talking about. You can, this is going to, whatever your dreams are, or whatever this thing that you want to change, this is going to take some effort. This is going to take some work. But it's going to be such rewarding work because it's going to be towards your passion. It's not going to be something that someone else told you to do, because it's a burden when it's other people, when we're not following our dreams. But when it's our dreams, it's just like, yeah, we can feel pressure, we can feel stressed, but you know what? We're feeling accomplished at the end of the day. We're able to look ourselves and think, yeah, I freaking brought it today. Absolutely. And that's where I feel like this energy is absolutely, let's focus in on that, Libra. Really take some time, get to know yourself, tune in, do some meditation. I don't know what that looks like. If we need to go buy some water, maybe take a trip, Libra. Take maybe a spiritual retreat, because 6 of Swords, 7 of Swords, this can be a card to travel. 6 of Swords, maybe we're traveling by water. Maybe 7 of Swords, we might be going on a train, whatever. Take some time, maybe just be in your energy for a while. And really find out what skills you want to hone or something along those lines, Libra. And this could be too, you know, just like pursuing of the arts and whatever it is that is speaking to you. Ooh. Let's get some tarot on this, because this is a dope reading, Libra. All right, last little bit here, Libra. All right, so we got the 4 of Cups in reverse here, and then we got the 9 of Swords upright. Now let's switch over, because here's the thing, Libra. I feel like that if life has been just kind of like whatever, we just been sort of like going with the motions, just been kind of keeping our stuff bottled up, you know. Because this really almost feels to me like we don't believe in ourselves, even with this 4 of Cups here. And that's intense, Libra. And I hope that that's not the case. But if it is, Nine of Swords is like a card of being like living in a nightmare. And that would be a nightmare for, I feel like, for anyone. If they don't feel that they can achieve their dreams or stuff. Oh, Libra, you got to get me. Look at that. Look, I'm going through the motions. Cancerian energy. I'm getting heated now and I'm about to start crying. But I feel that if we've been, if we feel that we don't believe that that we're meant to do something fantastic, Libra, that's not true. You know, it's only, or you know what, it's only as true if we believe in that, Libra. You know, and just like when we were talking about the Seven of Swords, you know, it's all a matter of your mindset. And this is Mars and Gemini, the Nine of Swords. And I feel like maybe a practice to get into if any of this has been resonating with you. If we've been telling ourselves a lot of negative things, when I think about Gemini energy, it's about that duality. We want to tell ourselves stuff from different sides. You know, if we've been on a negative end for a while, let's start countering that stuff with some positivity, because that's going to restrict your growth if we don't. You know what I mean? It's just going to keep us in this box here, keep us in maybe like a comfort zone, because this is the moon in Cancer. And that's very emotional energy, you know, it's because the moon is at home in Cancer. And so, you know, don't keep these fears bottled up, Libra. I'm not sure what this is, you know, what we may be worried about, but sit with that for a while. Figure out what the source of that is. You know, maybe this could even be, maybe this is some old trauma, you know, however this is looking. But all I see here is potential, and something great can happen here. But it's just like when I was talking about with the sextile positions. It's one thing to have the seed and to have the gifts, but if we don't do anything with it, if we don't believe that we can do anything with it, then they're just going to sit there until you're ready. And that's the nice thing. It's not going to go away. It's until you know, it's when you're ready. But it's just like, how long do we want to wait on that, Libra? And I feel like that's going to be the big question that we may want to ask ourselves over this season. And again, don't feel like you have to. I'm not trying to say you need to have this thing figured out right now. This is just something for you to be thinking about over these next year, a couple of years, whatever this is looking like. Take as much time as you need, but be thinking about getting that ball rolling. Okay? I'm going to leave that there, Libra. I love this. This was fantastic, Libra. I'm one of your stronger readings that came through here for sure. I mean, just seriously, so much heat. Oh, Libra. If anything resonated with you, or if you like this, Libra, give it a thumbs up. And Libra, share this. Absolutely, because I would love to see, I was just telling Taurus, I would love to see Empress, or who was a Taurus? Probably told Taurus too, you know, you both are ruled by Venus. I think I was telling Pisces that as well, like, I would love to see just people just manifesting their dreams and really just creating. The Empresses all over the place, you know? And subscribe, Libra, if you haven't already. Hit that bell button. You get notified when I have these videos each week. And then, you know, maybe something while we're meditating. You know, maybe if we need an app or something like that. I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer. And I started a group on there since you got a whole bunch of Zodiacs here. I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And definitely as it grows, you know, maybe we're going to do something, you know, establishing confidence with the Strength card, or pursuing passions with the Emperor, expansion with the Temperance card, finding balance, wherever the hell that was looking at. We got to talk some more about that. But yeah, Libra, definitely check that out. And then lastly, got a hot little ticket here, getting our ruler, and got one of Cancer's Oracle cards here, not that you needed one. But if you have any Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We absolutely discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping, down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here. Oh, Libra, so I can get you out of here. Queen of Swords. This is you, Libra. Look at you, sitting on high, pence in rich, deep meditation. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is that knowing. You know, it's in this situation here, I really feel like, Libra, this is about you right now. This energy here, this is all about you. And focusing on, especially if any of this resonated with you, and if we're in a relationship and things are fine there, but you still want to pursue your dreams, and maybe this is something you've been, maybe we've even been just nervous about talking about this stuff. I'm not sure what that is, but I feel like, Libra, this is like right now, be thinking about this stuff, you know, be thinking about ways that you can raise your confidence. And make that a routine, because the Queen of Swords, she rules the first 2 deacons of Libra and the last of Virgos. And I feel like it's making you a routine right now. Self-care to the max. Let me get your other oracle card. Because, oh, thank you. I love that. Libra, you're blessed. Absolutely. You are so blessed. I'm jealous of you, to be honest, and I'm like in a joking kind of way, because I mean you're ruled by the Emperor. The Empress and I, we've had a tight relationship since I've started tarot, and I'm always telling you and Taurus, it is a blessing to have that tight bond with Venus like that, to be Venus ruled, to bring abundance, to bring beauty, Libra. That's lovely. And that's something where never forget that. Never. I would, you know, and I don't like telling people to do anything. But if I could tell you one thing, Libra, never forget how blessed you are. I'm with it. I'm leaving that there. Something to sleep on there, Libra. Absolutely. You stay safe out there. With all this heat. Try not to keep that stuff bottled up, Libra. Be safe out there. If we need to find a way to express these, create a safe space, however this looks, if we're having a conversation with someone, or you know what, if you're having a conversation with yourself, a pep talk, whatever that's looking like, create a safe space, be kind to yourself, and raise your vibration to Venus, like just as high as you can. I'm with it. You say, and you know what? There's a reader. Oh, she's a Libra, and I love when she's. I think she just does Libra readings, and I love when she's talking about you guys, because it's just like I'm gonna steal a quote from her. Stay balanced and stay blessed, Libra, and I will catch you on the next one later.